Hello, Dr. Noob here again. So today I have a new tutorial for you and it is about moving platforms. What I did is I just took our prototype and typed Ctrl D and created a new one for our experiments. And the only thing I did is I did here a little dead zone. So when you go in and you tap in there, then you should die. Yes. So that's the beginning to create a platform. It is actually very easy to create a moving platform. Again, you remember our art, the pixel. So we need to move in here and let's making maybe 5 wide. Come on, 6. Okay. Well, so we have here a moving platform. So therefore we go here to moving platforms. And as you know, nothing happens if you don't have a collider. So we do a box collider 2D and we have it in here. So now we don't have any movement there, but hopefully it should be at least one platform. Yes, very well. And well, he shouldn't be white like the character. So let's give him something else. Ooh, ugly. Yeah, black. Very well. Good. Now that we have that, we should add the moving platform. Moving platform. Great. Good. Now let's see what we can tweak here. So I changed the layout a little bit so that we can see it better. Well, another thing to do is to change that to maybe moving platform. Good. Now, the first thing that you can do in here is to go here and say what kind of movement he should do. So he could go back and forth or loop only once, stop at bounce and random. But at the moment there is nothing. So if we play, there is nothing. I guess it shouldn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work. So first of all, before we start experimenting around, we should do some path elements because those are defining the path. Yeah. So let's make it easy for the beginning. We say 2 points. And so I take in here the first point and move it like that. So let's put him in 0, and you know me, I like whole numbers. Good. So if we play, then we should see him moving very slowly. So we should change that because it bugs me. So let's do at least 5. That should be okay. Yeah, that looks like a real platform. Very well. And now you see he goes in here and then he goes back and forth. Maybe let's make that a little bit smaller just to experiment with those. So what happens if we loop? So we loop means he goes back and forth again. So why is that? Well, I can tell you that if we would have 3 elements and the third element would be let's say in here, then you would see he will I will make that speedier. Okay, so you see he goes and loops here around. If I would say just back and forth in here, then you see he will only go from 0 to 1 to 2 and then back to 1 and then back to 0. So I said I will change that. I don't have the patience for it. So the next one is, well, only once. I guess that is a very clear statement here. That's it. Only once. And stop at bounds. Well, let's see what it means. Yep. So he stops at that. Yeah. I need to see a little bit more what that means. And random. Oh, what does that mean? Ah, look at that. That sounds interesting. So it has a random number. Good, good. I like that. So the only thing I couldn't answer you is the stop and bounce. I will dig deeper. So the next thing we should do is just to see what we can change here on the path elements. So we have already seen that we can change the path stops that we can do. So at the moment we have 3, 1, 2, 3, which as always in programming language it starts with 0 like it should be. And again, I like whole numbers. So now what we can tweak, besides of putting the element in a position, you can also have a delay. So let's say we would like to have a little stop here. So we put here a delay of 2, which I think it should be 2 seconds. So let's go in there. And so he goes, stops 2 seconds, then he goes next. Okay. I like back and forth. So you can then decide on each one of them how many seconds he should make a little pause and waits for you. Yeah. Next thing is the movement speed, which is 20, and you can have here a constant speed. Now for experimenting around I will put 5 in it, and maybe I should move the 2 in here. And so it means when we do this he should have a constant speed of 5. He goes here and goes, oh, the delay, I forgot about it, and let's make that to 0. We have also the possibility to say ease out, which means that he will have different speed. So will be fast and then slow before he goes into the different points. So I think the average is again the 5 to 5, but the 5 speed, but just making it here a little bit faster than here. And there is also the possibility to, to have an animation curve and tweak that around. I think this is something you need to experiment with. I think ease out is somehow nice, so let's keep that. The update mode is, as you know, always an update or a fixed update. I don't know why we have late update. Again, something I cannot answer you. Anyhow, update is good enough. You can also have fixed update. Good. So what we should look at next is the settings here, the minimal distance to goal. To be honest, I have not found any good reason why to do it, but I will either way try to explain it. So the goal is definitely this 1 and 2 in here, and you have a minimal distance to that. So if I put 2, means he will be a little bit, I cannot find a real good word for it, so he's not really exactly going through those points. I think this is a little bit of a wild card for me. I have no clue why somebody would change that. I guess 0.1 is, at least for me, good enough for a normal platform. Okay, let's start with the best part of it. It's the activation. For that I will go the movement speed to 5, and I say I would like to have a constant speed and update. So this is the normal way. And let's move that a little bit here. Good. So you see, I need to wait for it like a dumbass waiting for his bus. So yeah, that's not good. So what can we do against it? We can definitely, well, first of all, play better, Dr. Noob, and second of all, we can say that it moves only when player is colliding. Now, there is only move when character is colliding. In our case, both of them would do the same because the player is also a character. But let's say if there would be another character, an enemy character, then he would be triggered by that one too. With this, you are only triggering the player. So you see, nothing happens, and if we go there, then it starts. Let's move the number 1 here a little bit down. So, -3, 22, 55, and 0. Good. So you see, only when player is colliding. But this has, let's say, the downside that it really only moves when he's colliding. So if I jump and go back, he doesn't move. You see, he stops. Maybe I want that, but most probably I don't want that. I want that he starts. So you can go in here and say start moving when player is colliding, which would be how you maybe know it from other platformers. You go in there, and then he goes. And it doesn't matter if I'm colliding or not, he doesn't care. He's still moving. Good. Now, yeah, that's something I would like to see. So let's say I have here a 1 and I have here the start when the player is colliding. Then something can happen. So I'm here, I jump on the bus, and then for some stupid reason I die. Then I spawn back, but you see the platform is now gone. And I could try to make it. No, I cannot make it. So now I need to wait for half an hour until the platform is back where he was. So therefore we can have here the reset position when player respawns, which means we can now start, and if I die, then he's back where he was at the beginning. So cool. He really thought of everything. Now the next thing is by far the most interesting one. When you say that you want to have it script activated, let's say I want to have it script activated and I want the speed to be 5 again. So now if we play, then nothing will happen. Oh no, he will start moving when the player is colliding. Sorry, that will happen. So we need to take that out. It should only be script activated. So let's go in there, and nothing happens, so he will not start. Damn it. So what can we do? Script activated. Let's create one script for that one. We can go in here again under art and have here a new pixel. Let's make him, I don't know, maybe yellow. Good. So I would like that this guy here, if I pick him up, then that should start to move. Let's move that also in here so that I don't have that I don't miss it when he starts to move around. Maybe I will also, let's put 3 in there. Very well. We have now our pixel, which is now the moving platform trigger. For that, the Corgi engine has something which is called trigger and collision. And you could use that, but there is even a better way to do that. So you can say, let's say on trigger, you need to make a collider, you should make the collider on trigger, and then tell him what happens if it triggers and which layer is affected. That's one way to go. The other way to go is to have a pickable. You maybe know that from the last tutorial I made about melee attacks and stuff like that, upgrades. We have a pickable action. Great, so I disabled the object on pick, and now what should happen if I pick it? First of all, we definitely need a box collider before I forget it, and make that one trigger. And here on the pick event, I can add him the logic. So what happens if I pick this one? I move my moving platform in here, and I can go here to the moving platform and say somewhere is an authorizer here, authorize movement. So if I go in here, nothing happens. If I click on it, then he starts moving, which is a good thing. But more than that, let's go a little bit creative here and go to the moving platform again and make him as big as no, even more. Let's make him here. So he should be blocking my way. And now I can go to the moving platform himself and only say I would like to have 2 and just once, and move it here. Which I hope, I have not tested that, but yes, I can now go forward, so it's blocking me. And if I click on that, then the door opens. So you see, you can do definitely more things with the moving platforms. Man, when I started this video, I thought it would be a small video, but now that I'm here, I'm experimenting a little bit, and I came to a little bonus round here. So if we have now the moving platform that goes up and down, I add him a force, movement speed of 40, which means he will be coming down like that. So what happens, oops, if I go in there. So sadly it will not happen what you think. He will be a little bit crazy and then somehow fall into the platform. This is not something you maybe want to have in your game. You want to have maybe a little trap. So I tell you the trick to make this moving platform for a trap. You go to your prefab, to the character, your player, Pixie, and you add him something which is called character crush detection. And so when you have that, then he checks what could be crush layers. I use moving platforms and platforms, even if I think that moving platforms is enough, but yeah. And which detection should be caught, so in this case vertical, that's okay. And well, he should die, but I can also say no, he should have a little bit of a damage or something like that. But no, I would like him to die. So let's go back in here and duck, he's dead. Back, dead. Bonus! You have now a little trap for your game. So you have a door, a trap, and a moving platform. What else do you want with it? So thank you very much for everybody. Yeah, let's see you next time. I am still owing you a small answer about that stop at bounds. Instead of telling you what it does, I thought it would be a good idea, I'm on fire today, and to show you how I find things out if I don't know them. So as you know, there is the documentation. If you go here to the documentation, you have, I would say, the most obvious things to do, like how you should do an AI or animations or whatever. Now, if you want to know a little bit more detailed things, then you should go to the API documentation, and I must confess, it is a little bit overwhelming at the beginning, but More Mountains are doing a great job with this API documentation. I have never been disappointed by it. So if you go here to API documentation, then you can start and type moving platforms. So moving platform CS. Yes. And here you have the whole technical API, so what you can do. And if we Control F and make bound, then you see something in here. There is a method which is called, function, sorry, for C. There is a reset and reached one. So if I go here to the reset and reached, when you call that, then it resets the end reach status, allowing you to move in the opposite direction if cycle option is set to stop at bounds. So what does it mean? I created here already such a thing. So our moving platform is in stop at bounds. I thought 20 just to don't waste too much time. And there is nothing, you see, nothing is here, not script activated, nothing. So if I click and play, then you see the platform goes here, and then he stops here. So I have also created this one here, which is called pixel. I should make that trigger movement. So when you see that one here, as before, I have a box collider, a pickable action, and this time, when I move here the moving platform, I can go to the moving platform, and you remember there is the reset and reached. So if you go in here, he goes and finds every function that you see in the API. So let's do that. He will do exactly the same. He will go in here. Sorry, I want you to see that. So he goes in here and nothing happens. I can click and I can jump on it and nothing happens. Now, if I trigger that, then he goes back to the opposite direction, because with the trigger he's calling this reset and reached, which we saw in the documentation, and I can do that again and again. So you have definitely seen some games where there is, I don't know, leverage, I don't know, a trigger of any kind, which lets you move the platform from one way to another. Yeah, now I'm finished, I promise. Cheers.